Welcome back. This is By the Book, and we're your married relationship coaches. I'm Sent.
I'm Sil.
And today we're going to talk about Married at First Sight. But first of all, Happy New Year to everyone. We hope you're going to start off your 2023 really awesome. Hopefully these couples will start off the 2023 season for us in awesome fashion. This is season 16. This is a season out of Nashville. And we just got our first look at the couples that have been matched for this season and what we have to look forward to. So we're just going to talk about these first two introductory episodes that we've seen and give our take on what we think is going to happen with these couples. And then hopefully we can get you guys to jump on in those comments and let us know what your thoughts are. So without further ado, I suppose we'll start with Shaquille and Kirsten.
Okay.
All right. What are your thoughts about these two?
Let me see. That is the gentleman who is kind of like the director of
he's a very successful guy.
Yeah. And she is, what does she do again?
She's in real estate.
Okay.
So I know she was trying to sell that nice home that she was in when Dr. Pepper came to visit her. And I like her. I like her a lot. She's very spiritual. She seems like she's ready to step into a very traditional wife role.
Yeah.
That's where she wants to be. And he said he was born to be a husband. So theoretically, right? This couple should work.
Yeah, but now they both are a bit persnickety.
You think so?
Yeah,
I don't feel
so.
like she is. Yeah. I really don't feel
you don't think so? Both of them kind of had some list or some expectations. I think, well, I wouldn't say unreasonable, but maybe just a tad bit unrealistic, I think.
Okay. I think that he is going to be fine with her. She's a very attractive lady. She seems to be up his alley as far as kind of being there to support him. Yeah. And ready, like I said, in theory, to be a wife, to fall into those traditional wife-like roles. Yeah. My concern is for her attraction to him, not because he's not an attractive guy, because I think he is an attractive guy, but he has, I hate to say it, I hate to bring back memories of Justin. It's not Justin, but he has some effeminate tendencies that I don't know whether or not they're going to appeal to her. It's concerning to me. The more I watched, the more I picked up. You guys let me know if you see what I'm talking about. It's not extreme, but it can be unattractive to women. So we'll see if that's a hurdle for her or not, if it presents itself in other ways. Yes, I'm fine. He's okay to be a metrosexual type guy. Yeah. He's into clothes, fashion. What does he make, ties or?
That's all I know. It was a man walking through a fabric store, and that's just a view.
So, I almost could get over that, but it's in his mannerisms, and we talked a lot about mannerisms last season when we were talking about Justin, and like I said, he's no Justin, but I have my concerns about just some of those effeminate tendencies and if that's going to appeal to her or not.
Yeah, well, metrosexual, being fashionable, I guess that's one thing. But like you said, if it's kind of venturing off into a bit of femininity, too far into femininity, I guess it can be an issue for them going forward. But again, I think they both are just a bit particular, I think. So that's why I'm going to kind of rest that right now.
So you don't think they're going to make, as it stands, your vote is no?
Yeah, my vote is a no. I don't think it's going to make it. Just from the preliminary thing that they showed us. I'll know a little bit more when they when she walks down the aisle, they see each other, and then the conversation kind of ensues from there. I'll know a little bit more, but just off the rip, I don't think so. No. Okay.
I'm going to go against that. I'm going to vote yes. I'm hopeful for them. I hope that, he's just got
really
that. Yeah. I have hope that he just has that effeminate vibe, but that is not going to push her away.
Okay. But the man was walking through A fabric store. How
That's
many
okay.
men have you seen walk through a fabric store?
He makes ties.
Yeah,
He's got to get fabric from someplace.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's
red
move
flag.
on
Yeah, but go ahead.
to Mackenzie. I think it is. He goes by Mac, so I'll just call him Mac. And Dominique. I feel like.
What do you feel about this couple?
This is the couple that the producers selected, for sure. They didn't have, in my opinion, any rhyme or reason to this match. He's way older than her. They talked about their racial diversity and, him being open to other races, which I think he may be. I didn't hear them talk about her openness to other races except to say that, like, her stepdad is white.
Yeah.
And I just don't feel like they dug deep with this couple. She's very young. She seems young. It does kind of strike me as that Virginia and I forgot the pilot's name from that one season. That kind of a vibe where she's going to be a little bit too youthful for him. I just don't think she's ready. I honestly, y'all can disagree with me if you want to, but I feel like 25 is just too young to be on this show.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think they need to be real close to 30 or beyond before they get on a show like this. And I think it's going to show in her maturity, even though they said, oh, she seems like an old soul. Yeah. She got her mama signing her up for the show. Like, who else's mother is this involved? Like, she's still a kid. Let a kid be a kid. Don't put her on this show.
Yeah, well, I go for this one. Just kind of like what you just said with the last couple. Is she going to be attracted to him? He could possibly be attracted to her, but I don't. I wonder if she's going to really, feel him even at the altar. Besides the maturity level, is there going to be any chemistry?
Yeah, and of course, we saw the previews. If you guys watch, you'll see the previews as well, where it looks like she's been packed up and start walking out already. Yeah, and he's saying I wasn't what she wanted. So yeah. Who's to know? We can only speculate as to what it was. She can't know much about him, right?
That's true.
I mean, how much did she talk to him? So that's giving me kind of Alyssa vibes.
Yeah.
That she hasn't given it a chance, which again, I think speaks to her maturity level and her preparedness for this type of a process.
Yeah, it did seem kind of sad. That little clip that they showed her walking away with everything. She had everything in a box to the left. So it was kind of sad seeing her kind of like walking away, with that. And yeah, that's all we got so far. But that could be only one Alyssa. Please tell me it's not another one walking around.
The thing that seems like it's going to make her better than Alyssa is that she literally packed up and walked away. Alyssa didn't. She's like, I want to be part of this process. So we don't see Mackenzie doing that, but it looks bad. Yeah. So you guys speculate on what you think made her pack up and walk away, and shame on her mom for shining her up for the show.
Yeah, some people got to be on TV though, but maybe that's what it is.
Okay. All right, let's move on to Chris and Nicole. Chris is kind of a reserved type of guy. This is one of those matches, y'all, where I feel like they're like, oh, opposites attract. And I think it's going to be a problem. Nicole is extremely high strung. She says she's not always this high energy, but she hasn't shown us anything but she's jumping around, she's clapping her hands, she's I don't know. It's a lot. And I think she's going to overwhelm him with that level of excitement. And I don't know if he's going to know what to do with it. She also seems like she could be possibly pretty bossy. Yeah. And he could be possibly quite a pushover. And I don't like the chances of this one. What are your thoughts about them?
I do kind of see the opposites attract a little bit with them, possibly. And yes, I think initially her dominance is probably going to take center stage. But I believe as the relationship kind of grows and evolves, I think his masculinity could probably kind of like step in there and balance it out a little bit.
Let me tell you what I think is going to happen.
What you got?
They're going to have sex real early because she's like super thirsty.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's a guy, so
he's not going to say no.
Right.
Yeah.
And then he's going to realize and maybe this was a mistake. And he's going to pull back and she's going to be super hurt and very high strung about it. It's kind of giving me Lindsay and Mark.
Lindsay and Mark, the show.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think that's how that is going to blow up.
Huh.
That's my guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But yeah, I think she's a nice enough person. She seemed kind of self-aware of how she comes off and how she is, how she presents. And I think that's a big thing. A lot of these people that get on this show are not self-aware. They can't see themselves at all.
I think they don't want to change. And remember, Lindsay was like, I'm a lot. And that's the same words that we're getting from Nicole. She's like, I'm a lot. You're a lot, and you're not probably going to be like dulling yourself down for this relationship. And if you don't, I just think it's going to overwhelm him. And I don't know. I mean, I wish him the best, but I just don't see it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to, what's his name? Arris and Jasmine. Okay. Jasmine is the beauty pageant girl and the cheerleader. She's a cheerleading coach. I don't know what else she does.
That's all they said.
Okay. So I don't know. That's an interesting career. I felt like she did something else, but maybe she did. You guys let us know if you heard that she does something else. He's a software engineer. So at first he seemed kind of like nerdy to me, but then he talks about how he had his F-boy days, and they spent a lot of time. I don't know if it's foreshadowing or what, but kind of talking about that about him. So much so as to have his cousin chatting with him and saying he shouldn't do it because he's a player. Yeah. So I'm wondering if those days are behind him, or, you know, if he's really ready. He's 39. So he ain't no baby. He should be ready. If he says he's ready, those days really should be behind him. But I'm not sure about his motives on this show.
So yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down?
I don't know. I really like her.
Okay.
I really do. I really like her. And he seems okay. I want so badly to give them a thumbs up. I really need to see what's to this that his family is saying he's not ready.
Yeah, well, I don't think they're gonna make it.
Is it because of that whole F-boy thing, or is it something else that's jumping out?
There's a few things. Okay. Well, going back to him, you know, sometimes kind of like a guy will get into the whole thing. Well, I think I need to settle down. I've been playing too long. But if it's just the mere fact that you're getting older, if that's just your only rationale to the reason why you need to settle down, then you're not ready to settle down. Yeah. I just think it needs to be a little bit more holistic in your views. Your mindset has to change. And so I was wondering, they were comparing him to Elijah Wan a little bit.
Yeah, or Chris.
Chris
Williams, y'all remember him. I don't think he's a fair comparison to anybody.
No.
Yeah, so no, I wouldn't say he's giving me Chris vibes, but Elijah Wan vibes, maybe, but he doesn't seem as particular to me or as extreme as Elijah Wan.
No, but I picked up on him being kind of like Michael, Jasmina's husband a few seasons back. I kind of saw him being a little detached and emotionally unavailable. That's what I kind of picked up.
Really? Okay. I don't really see that one.
Yeah.
I don't see that yet. At least it's not jumping out at me like that. Yeah. I mean, I see him as being a little bit more reserved, at least, especially by comparison to her. Yeah. But I think this couple might surprise us. I think they may be good.
I hope they do. And then the one thing about her, she said that it seems as though in her dating history, she gets men ready for their wives. And so I don't know what that is, but that screams red flag to me. If men are not seeing wife material in her that she's dated, but yet they go on and marry someone else. So I don't know. That's kind of sticky for me. So I'm right now. I'm thumbs down on them.
Isn't that something? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jasmina say that?
I'm not sure.
At one point, I believe that was almost the same line that she delivered. It felt very previously heard by me anyway. And I'm like, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I think a lot of times that can happen with a good woman where they can be sort of wife material, but they get a guy who's like not ready.
Yeah.
But that guy realizes once they lose this pretty good quality woman that they better not let that happen to them again. So I think that's what I'm getting from her when she says that. But we'll see. I mean, they're going to be married now. So
this is true.
I don't know. All right. So the last couple that we have is Gina and Clint.
The best couple. No, I'm just kidding.
If it is, we are in trouble. I feel like they maybe put a little more thought into them than Mac and Dominique, but not much. Like Clint seems like, I don't know, do they have to have like a 40-year-old quota now? I'm not really sure because he didn't seem like, I just wouldn't have picked him for the show at all. You know what I mean? Like we had enough with Mitch.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem as particular as Mitch, you know. So like a lot of these people, they seem to have extremes, but they're not as extreme as some of the people that we're comparing them to.
Yeah.
So, but he does have a little bit of those Mitch characteristics. He definitely shot out there that he likes a natural beauty, and I'm like, that's very triggering.
Yeah.
And Gina is a salon owner, like.
Yeah.
And she still does like hair and probably makeup and stuff like that. So like, why would you guys put this type of match together?
Yeah.
Again, having just seen it fail, you know.
Yeah. So yes or no? Thumbs up? Thumbs
For
down?
Gina and Clint.
Yeah. Uh-oh. That don't sound good. She's thinking, y'all.
Wait a minute, I can't think.
If you gotta think that long, it's definitely a no.
I don't know. It's like I want everybody to work. I want to be surprised and be like, oh wow, that's crazy. But I've watched enough seasons of Married at First Sight to know it just doesn't seem. I don't think they're gonna have any chemistry. I'll put it like that.
Okay.
I'm not really saying he's like a bad looking guy or anything like that. I just think his whole persona, like just who he is, how he is, right? He looks scruffy, right? He's giving me Grizzly Adams, like I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think it's good for her. I think they're both gonna look at each other and be like, okay, how do I work with this best?
Okay. Well, you know what? For them, I'm kind of on the fence with them as well. The reason why I'm on the fence is because some of her responses were, she's willing to do almost anything to make a marriage work. I didn't hear anything come out of her mouth that she was not ready to deal with or handle from a potential husband. And so to me, it's like she was going into it almost like, you mentioned Mitch, but almost like Kristen.
I was just gonna bring her up.
You know, she's all in it. She's whoever's at the end of that aisle, it seemed like she's ready for it. And so I think going into this type of situation with that type of mindset, that's got to carry you somewhere. And so I'm gonna say because of that, and I think he kind of gave me that vibe as well. Even though he did say he is more attracted to someone with more earthy, natural look, whatever you want to call it. Even though he did say that, he still, in most of his responses, were, hey, I just want to be married and I want to make it work with someone. And so since I got that vibe from both of them, and I do take in that tangible, intangible of chemistry, I do understand that. But I'm going to say... I'm gonna give them a thumbs up. I'm gonna see what they can do.
Okay. I'm not that hopeful. I'm not. I mean, I wish them the best. I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see the chemistry. Sometimes you could just look at two people and be like, that ain't it. Okay. And that's how I feel about them.
We're gonna find out, aren't we?
Yeah. So a couple of people we saw just to touch on them really quickly, that made a visit to the show, and we caught up with their, I guess, where they are now. We saw Mark the Shark. Unsurprisingly, he doesn't talk to Lindsay anymore. He's not dating yet. He said he would go on the show again. I don't know why. We saw Noi. She's in the process still of divorcing Steve. She alluded to the fact that perhaps he was cheating. Doesn't really surprise. I mean, like, whatever. They should have never said yes.
Yeah.
At decision day.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. They shouldn't have said yes. Her responses were, it kind of left me wanting them to ask her more questions, to be honest with you, because the way she kind of was talking about what he didn't want her to be online and saying certain things. Well, what things, you know? And
it was the same stuff from the show. Remember, she would post like these kind of cryptic things, like they would be memes, but it would say something like, you know, the moment you feel like it's not enough, it isn't, or something like that. He didn't like things like that because he felt like it was leading too much into like what was going on with them personally. She didn't like him saying that because she felt controlled by it. So I just feel like they couldn't come to a meeting of the minds in terms of stuff like that.
Okay. Then she said something about him not having as much money as he said.
I mean, savings do run out.
But she said by the reunion show that he did.
That's because she was still married to him. And she wanted to make it work. And she might not have known all the truth of everything yet.
Know. That seems like a little bit of revision history right about now. A little revised stuff kind of like going on.
And remember, she also said he wouldn't join their bank accounts.
She did say that on this show, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't know that, you know, when they did the reunion show.
She probably thought that they would.
I ain't buying it. Something ain't sounding right. I'm sorry.
This sounds like an extreme male Noisy. Bias right now.
I'm sorry, Noisy.
Anyhow, we didn't see Steve come on the show to say anything. So when he comes and explains himself,
maybe they didn't invite Steve.
Why wouldn't they invite Steve?
Yeah, he was busy looking for a job. He was on an interview.
Ain't got no job.
He was on an interview.
All right, so we also saw Bao, who I wasn't really that interested in hearing from. She talked about a little bit about Johnny. They don't talk anymore. Also, that she dated Zach from that season. So that was true, not just a rumor, but that he cheated on her, which she confirmed. Surprise, surprise. We knew Zach was an F-boy. Right? So finally...
She looked really sad, though.
She just got sad eyes. She just looked sad really all the time.
I felt sorry for her. She looked hurt. She still looks hurt. Even though she said she was all right. But
them DMs are popping. So... we did see finally from last season, Stacia and Alexis. Alexis didn't have a whole lot to add. Same situation with Justin. She's not on speaking terms with him. Stacia did, in fact, confirm for us that she and Nate have divorced.
You know, people say they have divorced, but that's kind of fast. Does that just mean that they're going through a divorce?
It can mean one of two things. I mean, you got to realize they ain't been married very long. There's not a lot to do. You can get divorced pretty quickly if there's an agreement about the terms. It doesn't take a long time. So they might be official.
Yeah, I think we were kind of seeing that as we were looking at some of their Instagram postings and things of that sort of like. Definitely looked like Nate had moved on. We were just speculating with some of his posts, and by seeing some of her posts, and neither one of them were in each other's posts. Yeah, it was just kind of
I mean, the handwriting was on the wall. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but did it surprise you, or were you taken aback by anything that she said about Nate?
No, because he showed it. I mean, the biggest thing for her that she was asking throughout the show was for him to do things that were actionable. He said a lot, but he didn't do a lot. And when we saw the reunion, when we saw those follow-up shows where he still hadn't moved in, they still hadn't, what was it? They were trying to do joint bank accounts. She was trying to accommodate him and move into his place for a little while. But he wasn't taking those actionable steps that he said he would. And I can't blame her. Maybe she put a lot of pressure on him. Maybe he was uncomfortable. But the bottom line is that he didn't do what he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's a problem. It's
Sure.
going to be a problem.
Sure.
So I'm not surprised and I'm not disappointed in her, quite frankly. She needs to move on. She's trying to have a baby.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's unfortunate. I thought Nate was kind of serious in the beginning, but as the season kind of like went on, I can kind of like see he was still kind of like holding on to his singleness.
Yeah.
You know, so it's unfortunate.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for the intro shows for season 16 of Married at First Sight. We would love to hear from you guys. What are your predictions? Who are your favorites? I don't have a favorite yet. I really need to see a couple of shows before I did get deep and name a favorite. Mm-hmm. But if you guys have one already, definitely share that with us. Let us know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe. And we'll talk to you guys soon.
Bye.